man, first and foremost, thank you, Bulldog Nation. 8 p.m. tip on a weekday. And again, we just got one of the best crowds in the nation. I know I challenged everybody to take a nap, coffee up, take another nap, but be ready to cheer like no other. And the energy about this place, as I reflect back on the season, is, man, there's no better feeling than to play at home. And it's just something special that you can't put a word to. It's just a magical place that loves women's basketball. And then to finish senior day, the last game, Jess can't play, so then we made it senior week. And like we talked about, we don't lose on senior week. We don't. And there was just an unbelievable look from our young women. They're together. They're one. I've talked about it all year. You want to be playing your best basketball come March, and I think you're seeing that right now.
Stefan, then Robbie.
I guess kind of follow up on the fans. You guys are one of 4 SEC teams to average over 5,000 attendance this season. I guess what does it mean to you in your first season to have had that continued support?
Man, so thankful again, because that's why I took the job. Is I wanted to go somewhere where women's basketball mattered, and obviously I told everybody, please be patient, give me a chance. I know what was out there when I got the job. This dude ain't never been a head coach. The program's done. They can't get back to the glory years. And I said, just pump the brakes. Let's win today, one day at a time. Let's get the returners back, which was a special group. They're the main reason. Those were 7 kids who fought through hardships last year. They came back. Then we got some great kids in the portal, and then we did some great stuff. Jimmy, got to give a shout out to my Dobo, did a little fan thing where we had 300 people in July at the football stadium. I'll never forget. And we're chanting, "Why not us? Why not us?" And I was like, man, I think the people will buy in and give us a chance. And then I told the players, now you got to do your part. Give them a reason where they want to come back night in and night out. And boy, did they do it this year, and we're forever grateful.
Right.
You talked about the fans thinking that the program was down or whatever, and that was, the message boards and Twitter was lighting up a few weeks ago, and you followed that up after those 2 rough ball games with 5 out of 6 wins. I think you mentioned, the team got together after that. What do you feel like has been the key for this team to close the way that you have this year?
I think enjoying the ride. College athletics is not like college football, like I said. College football, there's so much pressure because you lose one game, you're out of the national championship, usually. 2 games, okay, now you're going another bowl. Fans are mad. It's so much pressure in that football landscape where college basketball, it's not that way. I said it from day one. My cloth is fortunate because at Louisville for the last 9 years, we always talked about it year in and year out. Just be playing your best basketball come March. And you know what? If you didn't have a good season and you get to the SEC tournament, now you might win it. Now you automatic bid. Or you know what? You might have some hardships and get in the tournament and then make a run that nobody will forget. And that's what we've been preaching. Thank God your season is not determined on the message board or Twitter, because I think I'd been done 10 games ago. But again, that's what the beauty of sports. People are entitled to their opinion, but the truth is behind those closed doors. The truth is behind that circle that when we had hardships, I said, you know what? We went old school and put chairs around and we had conversation. We looked each other in the eyes, including me, and we said, what can I do better? How can we lift each other up? And then most importantly, I said, let's just get healthy. And again, you saw a full team tonight that was healthy. Again, we just had so much teamwork, the way we passed the ball. I was able to put different lineups. And I keep saying it, the reason we're having success now is because it's a different person night in and night out. And that's the best thing you can ask from a coach, because if you're the opposing team, you're not just locking up one person. You got to figure out all of us. So I couldn't be more happy where we're at right now.
The first quarter has been the key, it seems like. The last 2 weeks, you come out on fire in the first quarter on both ends with a lot of fire from the players. What have you seen from the team starting ball games the last 2 weeks, or last 2 games?
I got to give a shout out to my staff. I keep saying it. Corey Irvin had the last scout. Gabe Lazo had this scout. We know how Gabe is in the media room about his scouts. He just happened to walk in. Gabe, what are you right now?
8-1.
8-1. But again, that's our cloth. All right? Not that he's counting.
He spit that out quick.
Yeah, he did. That was great. But again, that's what I love about my staff. Just like I challenge my players, I challenge my staff. When you work in the film room, this is how I was at Louisville as an assistant. Know them like the back of your hand. Put a presentation together that our young women will believe, but most importantly, you set me up for success. They put the hours and the time in there that they're just not denied. So when their scout arises, that's why they're going to be great future head coaches one day, because I'm going to give them the opportunity, just like I was given, to develop, to teach, to lead. And again, it's not a one-man show led by me. I know I'm the head coach, but again, I've got great staff and great people, and we're doing this together.
Great, Scott.
Still basketball left to be played, but I guess a cool moment for reflection with it being the last game here for this season. If you were to tell yourself when you first got this job that you'd be sitting here 20 wins under your belt, last home game, what were your thoughts, Steve?
Here's the first thing. You always have the best questions. You get me every time. I swear I come in here, I'm so happy, but you find a way to hit the heartstrings. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Man, just blessed, man. God is good. I'm a firm believer in signs. I'm not trying to be weird here, but I've just been a man of faith. Believing, like I said, there were so many breadcrumbs. Shoot, you get me every time. You know, that Final Four run, it just meant to be. It felt like, man, why Mississippi State? Why, like, God, you talking to me? You know, what signs you give me? That was a game that I'll never forget, even though it's the hardest game. And you know, I just was like, man, I was so happy as an assistant at Louisville, but I told Jeff Walls every time, I'm not going to take a job unless I know it's the right one. And when this one was up, I was like, Jeff, this is the one. This is the one. It's got everything that I want. It's got a fan base that's passionate. I'm back home in the South. It's about people. It was the perfect fit. And again, I had administration who just gave me the resources. That's not how it is around the country. A lot of people might have a women's basketball team, but they don't give you the resources to be successful. They care about women's basketball, and it's everything I could ask for. So to be at 20 wins, I'm just so thankful. I got great people. I got players who stayed, who could have left. I got players who believed in me. The narrative was hard out there. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of college coaches that, you know, are like, man, why go for this dude? He's never been a head coach. That guy has no clue. But like I tell you, I told the players, it's not about me. I never scored a point, but I know how to lead. I know what winning looks like because I've experienced it over my 20 years. So I said, just give me a chance. Let me hire the right staff and let us pour in you like no other, and we're going to do something magical. So to be at this point and it's coming to life, with also the slogan, like we said from day one, why not us? People can write about, you know, Mississippi's done. They can write about, man, we ain't got no players. You can write about whatever narrative you want to write, but let's make sure when we write now, this is not us here in this room, but I'm talking about outside our state. Let's make sure we put a little respect on these young women because they're doing something special. And like my man Deion Sanders from Colorado says, we coming. We coming at the right year and the right time.
Stefan, Colin, and Robbie.
You talked about it, you know, being senior week for you guys. I guess, you know, after everything that Jess has been through, what did it mean for her to kind of get that standing ovation? You know, what could wind up being her last game, last home game?
Yeah, unbelievable. Because again, this is a kid that I keep on saying is the best college story in women's basketball. And I'm not just saying because her coach. Everybody knows what she's been through in her hardships, but it's amazing after a year off how you can overcome. You get with the right people and the right people around you, man, you can shine like no other. And it's funny on senior night where she got adversity again, where she couldn't play right before Missouri. All right, and then we have senior night, so her family can't come, and it's ironic because that's been her story where, you know what, I get knocked up, that she gets her moment on the last day in the hump where she's able to rise up, her family's able to hear, and boy, she plays like no other after that little break. It's her year, it's her moment, and I couldn't be happier for the young woman.
Colin, and Robbie.
Annie was talking earlier about, you know, kind of what you were saying, you know, catching fire at the right time, winning 5 of the last 6, and she was on the team last year when, you know, even through all those troubles and with just 7 players, they were pushing for a tournament spot last year over the last few games before they just ran out of gas. What does it mean, you know, seeing that put into this program and, you know, even managing all the pressure? I mean, how is it empowering? Is it difficult to manage that?
No, it's inspiring. I know some people ask me, do you feel pressure? Pressure is saving somebody's life. Pressure is trying to solve the world's problems. We play basketball. Like I told them, you know what? You're having a great year. Enjoy the ride. And most important, I'm proud for these seniors. I really am. This is their last go-around. There was a lot of questions that were out there and a lot of trust, again, because I'm a first-year coach. So for them to come here, believe, and stick together and fight for them, because again, you see me back-to-back games, I'm sitting down. I know what kind of team I got, and I keep on saying it. You'll see when I need to get up. But right now, I know my team. I felt good about this game because we earned it in practice. We earned it in shoot around. They had a look, and like I keep saying, when they're at that point, get out of the way and let them go to work because they're doing all the work.
You've been harping on Courtney for a long time now. She comes in there, gives you 17 minutes, 11 points. I mean, she might not always do it with her scoring, but, I mean, how important is she coming off the bench?
Swiss Army knife, all right, because I've said it all year. I can play her at the 5, and, y'all, she gets no reps in practice. It's amazing. Play the 4. She just listens in practice. She's got a hard master's class schedule right now where she's in a crammed 8-week program where I think she's done. We were joking the other day, March 3rd. I was like, watch out for Courtney Weber after March 3rd because she's hoping with 4 for 5. And she's up all night in the library. Imagine when she gets done with these classes, she might be shooting from half court. I mean, like, that's Steph Curry. But again, she's the ultimate team player. There was games early I didn't play her. You know what? She never gave me no problems. She got no family issues. She was just like, man, coach, like I said, she told me no when she went to Florida State her freshman year. I called her and she said she believed in me and she'd give me a second chance. And like I said, our staff was going to give everything we got to her. And I'm glad to see the kid have such a good night.
You've talked the last couple games about, you know, sitting on the bench, not saying too much, but while you're coaching, I guess, is that just, you know, part of something that you feel like you've learned, you know, being a first-time head coach?
Yeah, I just know my team. I know my team. I think it's not so much learn to be a first-time coach. It's just there's a pulse. There's a vibe that you can't deny. And again, when I watch practice, and believe me, I don't sit down and practice. They know that. I get after them, but I challenge them, and I say, okay, now here's the task. Here's the lights are on. Go get what's yours because you know why? You earned it. You earned it in practice. You earned it in the training room. You earned it in the weight room. So you can't be denied. And so at that point, there's nothing else for me to say. For 2 days of training, I gave you everything I got. It's either we got to pony up and the lights come on, you rise to the occasion, or you know what, you fall. And it's like the Navy SEALs quote. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you fall back to your training. You know, when times get tough, you fall back, and we're falling back to our training because they're putting the hard work in, and that's why you're seeing dominant performances.
Good time for a couple more, right?
LSU coming up.
Yeah, before I get to LSU, I also want to give a shout out to Mike Neighbors real quick before that question, if you don't mind. Mike Neighbors, I brought this up before the game. He's a good friend of mine, but outside of being a good friend, he's got a great team and a great program. I think I speak on behalf of everybody in the SEC. Mike is the guru at our head coaches meetings where he's always about everybody else. When I took the job, I actually leaned to him for scheduling, what it would take to get into the NCAA tournament, some advice, and I'm going to tell you that's a man of class and character because most coaches, they would be like, they wouldn't help. They wouldn't sit down with you in the corner or talk to you. He's somebody that not only I can call, but anybody in our league can call. So I got so much respect for him. I might be the only old assistant. Like I shared, I took his office as an assistant at Tulsa. On my first day of the job, I lost 32 teams at team camp. We had team camp that summer. So I learned what relationships were about because that was all his relationships in Arkansas who came to team camp there. So he's poured into me at a young age. He's been a first class, and then at the end of the game, he had so many nice compliments. I just want to give a shout out to Mike Neighbors and that Arkansas women's basketball team. They're great people, and obviously it just was a night that we played at home and we really shut the ball well. But to LSU, respect. Kim Mulkey, Hall of Famer. They've got a personality and a swag about them that you can't deny. I don't have to say much because we all see it on TV. Angel Reese is putting up historic numbers. I mean, I'm trying to think back in my 20 years, a kid that's putting up 20 and 20. When I turn on the TV every time, I'm like, man, she got another 20 and 20. But here's the thing about them. They're more than just one player. You see the social media posts where Angel's getting in that guard, another player, and challenge him. They're more than just one person. They're a team, and that's why they're having the year they have. They have a fan base, too, that we all know with rich history that they're supporting them, and Kim's done an unbelievable job. So we'll watch the film. We'll enjoy this one tonight, but we definitely know we got a tough one. So we're excited about to finish out the year.
Yeah, kind of to follow up on that, I mean, the environment that, LSU has had for home games this year, I guess, how important do you think it is, closing the season on that, knowing that, when you get to the NCAA tournament where you guys might be seated, you're probably going to have an environment pretty similar to that?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you phrased it like that. That's the truth. That's how I'm going to tell our young women. Like, no matter what happens in that game, it's going to prepare us because obviously we're going to be a low seed. I think we're in. I do. I think the eye test speaks for itself. I think you look at what we've done. Like I keep saying, tonight I had everybody healthy. The games that we lost, that we turned in, we told them we had hits missing. So to your point, I want to talk to my team about that. When it's sold out, we got to be prepared in case we get sent. I know the top 16 came out. Help me because I was walking down. Who was number one? Does anybody know?
South Carolina,
which we
probably.
won't go because obviously we're in conference. Indiana, which she's at 18,000.
Utah was
My Indiana people in the house, y'all know that. All right, who else?
Utah was full.
Utah, they got
LSU
great.
should be in there. Somewhere.
Yeah, so you're going to go somewhere where it's a sold-out home crowd. That's the hard part with women's basketball. It's not a neutral site the first 2 rounds. So to your point, it's funny how things work out. We're only going to get better in that situation to prepare us for what's going to come for March.
All right, thanks, everybody.